So we have a design builder that is focusing a lot on home editions, and their average ticket price is anywhere from 250,000 to 500,000 for these editions. We spent 20 grand on paid advertising, and in 14 months we were able to get 1.9 million back. Now we're actually making the funnel harder to get through. Sounds dumb, right? More friction, fewer leads. But if you are getting a lot of leads that are tire kickers or maybe smaller jobs, the last thing we need is more of those. I don't mind spending more per lead if the lead quality goes up. The big idea here is that once a funnel is working, so once you have a way to spend money to get a customer, you never want to blow that up. You want to keep everything the same, and you want to either just tweak the packaging or tweak the process or the flow of it so that you can get more of what you want. Right? And so friction is bad. So if you don't have any leads or you have like no sort of marketing, you want to make it as easy as possible for people to reach out. And it's okay if you get a bunch of, bad leads because you're not getting any. So first get leads. And once you get a bunch of leads, then you can start adding friction as you have them consistently coming in. So friction is bad when you're starving, but it is a weapon when you're full. So first we ran this, there was like basically an ad to a simple form. And then when they fill out the form, they went to a calendar page where they could book a call with our sales team. And so the goal was just to get flow in and a proof of concept that this could work, right? Obviously, 14 months later, we know it's working. We're spending $20,000. We got 216 leads. Out of those 216 leads, 76 turned into appointments. Out of the 76 that turned into appointments, 13 closed. The average ticket on that was like 190,000. And so we know that it works. We know that it's profitable. We know that we want to scale it up. But if we scale it up, we don't want to have our sales team going through all these leads to try and find the best ones. So we needed to add friction. The way to add friction without killing sales is first, we had to add conditional logic on our forms. So if they don't meet, for example, certain zip codes, certain budget ranges, time frame, then we just didn't even route them to the calendar. They instead got sent to basically free resources where they could consume. We're not booking a sales call with somebody who's thinking about doing a project a year and a half from now, right? It doesn't make any sense to waste the sales team's time. And so adding a conditional form on people who have the budget, they're in the right areas, they have the right time frames for the right scope that we're actually marketing for, that matters a lot. And so they have to meet that to even see the calendar page to even be able to book an appointment. Okay, cool. So that's the first thing. The second thing we did was we put a VSL, which is a video sales letter. And so this is basically once they make it to the calendar page, there's a video for who this is for, basically saying if you have a project above 100,000, you're looking to go through a design build process. Here's how our process works. Here's what the typical investment ranges can look like. Here's what happens on a call. And then the calendar appears under that video, right? So this is a textbook, add a video and sales letter, price before the scheduler to reduce bad appointments and increase quality. So once people know exactly what it's for, what the price ranges are, and the process, if they watch all of those things and still book an appointment, then they are a much higher quality customer. This is the third step, and we're debating on whether we should do this or not up front, just because we want to add friction. But if we see that those work great and we want to add even more friction, then we can show our price ranges up front. Okay, so this is a debatable one because you might scare people off, but at the same time, if you have too many leads, then you want to filter for the best ones so you can spend the most amount of time and priority on them. If we notice that even with that, we're still getting a lot of leads that aren't ready, they're not qualified, then we will put the price there because again, I would rather have the sales team have 10 leads that are extremely qualified that they focus on than have 100 and 10 of them be really good, but the other 90 are just and they take up the same amount of time, right? They take up, we got to follow up, we got to text them, we got to check in with them, we got to go through the whole, chasing the tail with these people, and it's just not efficient. It burns out the salespeople, and we want to keep them hot, fresh, ready to go, and ready to close. That's kind of what we needed to do from a adding friction perspective. Another thing that we did is we want to add more availability. So one of the biggest problems we have was that only being open during business hours is actually not very convenient for a lot of people, which I know sounds like common sense, but so we're adding 4 hours, basically 2 hours before work, 2 hours after work for people, and then also 4 hours on Saturdays. This will allow people who work to be able to book appointments, and it is one of the biggest reasons why people would fill out a form but not book an appointment. Right? Because they would say, oh, well, all the appointment times are when I'm at work, so I'm not going to book an appointment. And then we'd have to follow up with them manually and book them that way, which is cool. But when you're doing that with 20, 30, 40 people a month, it can be overwhelming. And so we wanted to solve that problem. And this was just an easier way to go about doing that. So if your ads already work, your next level of profit isn't, running ads or doing something like that. It's actually adding more friction so that it filters for better customers. If you want help building something like this for your company because you're trying to get bigger, higher margin projects and you're trying to filter out a lot of the smaller ones, then reach out to us. My name is Tarun from Ready Media. This is all we do. We work with design builders and remodelers doing anywhere from 3 to 10 million. That's kind of the sweet spot. And I'm just documenting the stuff that we do for our clients and the results we're getting. And I hope that this was valuable. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. And I will be there to answer them for you. I'll see you next time.